Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Layover Live. I'm Jason Swick, joined once again by my friend Sandee Jordan. Sandee, welcome.
Hey.
Paul McLeod, as always. Paul's here. We got the Brain Trust here, right? We got Sandee here, the creative one. All of us coming together to talk about fun things at the end of the year, which we always love to talk about, right. And that is predictions going into 2024. And we got a kind of a fun spin on it, Sandee, right?
Yeah, we thought we'd do something a little different this year. Everybody's heard of a bingo card.
Sure.
Your
my
bingo
mom.
prediction. Yeah. So what we're going to do is lay out these predictions on a clever little card. And we'll check in throughout the year to see how these predictions, if they've come to fruition and if we do, in fact, have a bingo.
Okay, hopefully we do. We've got some serious ones, got some not so serious ones. We'll get into that. And I guess I'll start first and foremost, right? Okay, so here's my first prediction for next year, and that is that I think Google delays the sunsetting of third-party cookies. Okay, why would Google not delay that when they've delayed pretty much everything else? For the most part, they're pretty good about GA4. They did a little bit of delay there for the most part, right? But I think as we roll into next year, I know they're already starting to deprecate some of that in Q1 with some Chrome users and things of that nature, and planning on doing a slow rollout through 24. But just knowing that they're kind of, it feels like the last ones to kind of move away from this third-party cookie system. So, I think that full deprecation runs.
So the date is in 2024?
2024.
And what was it originally, like 2021?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So it's already 3 years. I think they delayed and kicked the can down. So that is one of my predictions. Any thoughts on that? We feel pretty good on that one?
You know, I never trust when Google throws out a date because they never hit that date. They continue to kick the can down the road. Yes. I think another prediction that came in was the actual sunsetting of Translate. Which I think that can's been kicked maybe almost a decade at this point. Never killed it.
There we go.
So exactly.
We're just kicking a lot of cans.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe now that AI is so prevalent, there's absolutely no need for it. Yeah. But who knows? I don't trust Google and their dates.
Okay. So that's my prediction on one. Let's see if that comes true and see if we get as close to it.
Maybe we should have a side bet on that one, because I could imagine they're like, oh my God, we have to do it by now.
Yes. Yeah, it could, and it could. It could be, right? Yeah. But it's going to cause some disruption to marketing, boy. If you haven't started to figure that out now, we're in big trouble, right? Okay. Number 2 for me, is big buzz around Twitter, right? I think we just celebrated or if you call it celebrating, the year anniversary of Elon taking over Twitter and all the fun that's come along with that. And then there were change with all of that brand recognition from Twitter to X. Okay, I think...
That's what I call it.
Is that what you call it? Okay, no, so in that case, I think he's going to realize he made a mistake. I know that's asking a lot also. But and I think he goes back to Twitter from X. Because of the brand recognition. I still call it Twitter. You guys probably still call it Twitter. Does anybody refer to it?
I've never
and
heard
the main thing is,
like,
what would you say when you said I tweeted something, like I X'd something?
Yeah, well, the official word is that it's a post.
Yeah.
They're just calling it a post now.
That's dumb.
It's boring.
Yeah,
they
need a verb for the service.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. It's a tweet. Okay, let's just be honest. And I get what in theory what was trying to happen there, but
I get it.
Doesn't seem to get there. Okay, and then my last prediction, right? If we're talking about predictions for the next year, and we're talking about resolutions as well. Okay, this has been on my list for 20 years, but this is going to be the year that Jason loses 20 pounds. Okay, now this will make everybody. This will make my family happy. Okay, but my last prediction is I am going to lose 20 pounds.
Now that you've said it has to happen.
Yeah. Okay, so it's going to happen now. I'm fully accountable to everybody. Okay, there's my little cheeky one for you guys. So those are my 3 predictions, right? We're going to sunset. Google's going to delay that. We're going to go back to Twitter from X, and then I'm going to be healthier. Okay, so all good. So that's mine now. Let's cut away to what Ryan George has for his predictions for 2024.
Hey, Ryan, what are your predictions for 2024?
I predict that one of the major social platforms comes out with a certified native content designation so that we can determine which images and videos have been altered, which are AI, and which were actually created by humans.
Okay, some pretty good ones there, right? So we'll have to see if those come true as well. So Sandee, how about over to you?
Yeah, so my 3 predictions, I think first that advertising on social media is going to become even more interactive and personalized and possibly even more of an asset than email.
Whoa.
I really think that, when we look at the way email has been executed, especially with DMOs, we get a little lazy with it because it's kind of difficult to manage, right? We're asking people for personal information. We're holding that in a CRM. We're trying to customize that message out to them. It is not an easy job. It becomes much more easier on social. On social, you're getting that instant feedback directly from your audience, and I think we're going to leverage that more as an industry, but I think it's going to become more valuable as a marketing tool than email.
Wow. And email's made a pretty big resurgence over the last few years.
It has.
Okay,
it
so you're
has.
asking a lot. That's a big
I'm
prediction.
asking a lot, but I
Okay.
really think so. And when you think about just how you interact day to day, I spend way more time on social media than I do in my inbox. So just looking at my own behaviors and predicting that.
Yes.
My second prediction is I think that Google is going to find a way to de-rank AI-generated content.
That was my prediction.
Oh, no. Did I steal? Oh, well, then
Okay.
this is probably actually going to happen.
There's double here then.
Yeah, because, I've said it before. People always challenge me on it. But if you think about the way that AI content is created, it's created off of other content that already exists, right? Well, Google values unique content. So maybe they might not find a way to identify a percentage of AI-generated content and then de-rank you based on that percentage, but maybe you're de-ranking yourself because you're just kind of doing a remix on content that already exists, which doesn't perform well in this.
Sure. So they're going to use AI to determine AI content.
Exactly. Exactly.
Just since we're on it, I'll give you my version of it. I said yes, Google will release guidelines against generative AI content. So they may not be able to figure out how to do it well, but I think they'll at least try to say, hey, don't do this.
Exactly.
And I think that'll happen as, I've seen stories lately about, people talking about, all the spam they get from AI. And just reading more and more ChatGPT or Bard text, you start to be able to tell.
You can. You really can. Yeah, I've said that before.
And I think people are going to not like it.
Exactly.
I already don't like it.
Wordy.
Yeah.
And
It's so,
get a vibe
in conclusion,
Yes.
So I expect that Google will at least try to say, hey, don't do this, because they'll get bad feedback from users. And that will lead to whatever happens with that. I don't know if it'll work, but they will want to get less of it if they can.
Exactly.
Sounds like you've gotten some of my emails. Okay. How about last one for you, Sam?
And my last one, just a plug for ourselves. I think you're going to learn something at SimpleView Summit in Milwaukee this year.
Oh, wow.
Oh, come on. That should
That's
be
an easy one, right?
That should be the center
one. That should be the free space.
Okay, I know
so
the free
space is going to be content.
It's going to be content, but boy, that's a rival.
But what if someone comes up to you after someone's like, I learned nothing.
I learned nothing. Okay.
Your bingo is ruined.
Then the bingo is ruined, but I guarantee you absolutely will.
You're going to lose? Okay.
Speaking of Summit, we also have Paul Frank, who is a very familiar face around SimpleView. He's got another prediction for us. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Sandee.
What's your prediction for 2024?
I've got one here that I hope doesn't come true, but I believe that the city of Milwaukee is going to run out of beer. More importantly, though, the flip side of that will be that if this prediction comes true, it's probably going to double the economic impact of Summit.
Okay, interesting. Okay, let's go to the other Paul. Paul, how about for you?
Okay, for me, we already blew one of mine with Sandee. I should have really read hers before I wrote mine down. Other than that, I have overseas arrivals to the U.S. will surpass 2019 levels, which they have not done yet post-COVID.
That's a really good
that is one you can track on U.S. Travel has a nice insights and recovery dashboard from that's put together by Tourism Economics, where they have that among the many metrics in there. You can see it was way down, really down during COVID, and even last year I think it was down 30-ish%. Now we're more like in the teens.
Really? We're still thinking about COVID recovery?
Yeah, for overseas travel, it's never come back. Other things have. But that has not. And people, for places like Florida or big cities, that's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
They have lost significant, and people who travel overseas tend to spend as well. They tend to be wealthy.
Yeah, so, stay longer, all those things.
Yeah. So we want that to come back. My prediction is, sometime around the middle of the year we get there. The way it wouldn't happen is if, there was a big economic downturn or something like that. But I'm not too worried about that. So that might be hopeful rather than based on any reason, but that's what I got.
Let's ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of that, my other one is this is only barely connected to digital marketing, but a peer-reviewed academic journal will publish a paper written entirely by AI, like by accident. It'll happen.
Accident. Accident.
I mean, somebody will on purpose submit it.
Okay.
The journal will not
Yeah.
know about it, and they
Okay.
will
And
accept
And
it.
they'll slide it through.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was just reading
It doesn't even
yesterday.
seem all that far-fetched.
Yeah, that's
It
what I'm saying. I was just
doesn't,
reading
no.
yesterday about a guy who just had to retract his big article in Nature about superconductors that he found at room temperature, which is not a thing. And like this is like hard physics. He's like, you mix these things together, and then you don't even have to get it cold, and it superconducts. Basically, this looked like complete crap to anybody who looked at it. But
Sure.
the journal Nature, the most prestigious science journal there is, totally took it. Their peer reviewers let it through, and then like immediately.
Wow.
Everybody started being like, what the heck? This doesn't even work. I tried it. And it turned out the guy had previously had to retract a paper from Nature. Like these people.
So embarrassing.
Okay.
Oh, no.
You be careful with your trust in peer review. I believe science is great. Peer review does not always come through for us.
They're not
And
really
I think
reading it.
somebody is going to get a fully AI written paper through there.
Is it going to be the state of search report for 2024?
Not peer reviewed.
Okay, good. Okay.
So it'll happen. Somebody will be very embarrassed,
Yeah.
and life will go on.
Yeah. Okay, well, since I stole one from you, do you have one off the top of your head?
Another prediction.
Yeah.
Geez.
Those were some good ones too.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Good one.
How about this? Paid search traffic will not set a record for DMOs next year the way it has each of the last 2 years.
Interesting. Okay.
Just in the last few weeks, it's sort of fallen behind last year's pace quite a bit. I don't know what that means necessarily, but my suspicion is DMOs are in a little bit of a delayed economic cycle.
Sure. That makes sense.
And so my prediction is maybe that comes home to roost with the budgets next year. I hope I'm wrong about this one, but we've had huge growth this year, so my prediction is maybe a slight step back on that.
Sure.
Ooh, that is a
Makes
really
lot of
good
sense.
one off the top of
Yeah.
your head.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
excellent. I thought you were going to say that I was going to lose 20 pounds. So
I should have said you'll
Yeah,
lose 15 pounds.
okay, Jason won't lose 0 pounds.
Right.
But really good predictions. So check that out. We'll certainly have a link to this. We'll post it up on social. I think these are really good predictions. We've also crowdsourced this amongst some others here at SimpleView, so check them out. They're pretty good. We will check in then throughout
we will.
24 and see if we get bingo and how fast we get bingo.
Yeah.
Would be awesome to do it before Summit.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Paul Frank's comes true. So we'll have to see.
I'm sure. There's a lot of beer in Milwaukee.
There is a little bit over there, and we'll be exploring that for sure. So thanks, you guys. Really, really, really good predictions. Thanks for tuning in. If you're not subscribed, please do so now. We're also available on Spotify and iTunes. So thanks, everyone. Hope you enjoy your new year, and we'll see you next time.
So long.